Johnny here. Today's video is going to be on the sodium potassium pump and how low potassium can affect your cell's ability to generate energy and function optimally. So really excited to talk about this topic today. Most people do not get enough potassium, and a lot of times their minerals are out of whack. So this is a really important topic. Before we dive in, please smash that like button. It really helps the search algorithm. Also, put your comments down below. Let me know your thoughts about the topic. All right, let's dive in here. I'm going to do some drawing on screen for you guys. Hopefully this helps. Let me know if you like it too, doing it this way. All right, so here we are out of the gates. So this is going to be a cell, all right? Here's how the cell is going to look. We're going to draw this up nicely here. We'll make it a little bit thicker. Okay, so this is your cell. We have inside the cell right over here. This is your eye. And this is the outside of the cell. So pretty simple. Here's the cell membrane. Here's the outside of the cell. Here's the inside of the cell. So very simply, what's happening is we have sodium on the inside of the cell, right? We have 3 of these molecules, 3X, and we have potassium on the outside of the cell. We have 2 potassium. And so what is happening here, essentially, this is this dance that is happening here. And this is how these cells kind of get through here, is they go to this little membrane here, this little transporter. So essentially, sodium-potassium pump is a dance between this sodium coming out like this, 3 of them, going outside the cell, inside the cell to out, while on the other side of the fence, we have potassium coming back into the cell. So it's this dance of 3 on the inside go out, 2 on the outside go in. And of course, if we have 3 leaving and 2 coming back, that kind of puts us at a negative charge, right? And -1. And this is important. Now, to keep it really simple, cellular physiology requires hyperpolarization. So we need a slight negative charge. We need a slight negative charge inside the cell for our nervous system to work. And so what happens is our cells on the inside get negative. Then we have this influx of potassium that comes in. This depolarizes our cell and helps our nervous system work. This is how muscles contract, right? This is called an action potential. So to keep it really simple, I don't want to overwhelm anyone. Here's our cell membrane, inside sodium, outside potassium. We have 2 potassium coming in, 3 sodium coming out. So it's keeping our cells inside negative, and that's helping our nervous system work. That's helping our muscles contract. This is part of the reason why when you have potassium, or low minerals in general, maybe not enough sodium too, you're going to have issues with your muscles contracting, cramping. You can even have heart rate, heart rhythm issues. You can even see that connect to mood issues, energy issues, cognitive issues, because electrolytes are so important for how your cells actually function. Now, one of the enzymes that's involved here is ATP. There's an ATPase enzyme that basically allows this little musical chair thing to happen. And so if we don't have good mitochondrial function, we have low iron, right? If we have mitochondrial toxins, right? Mold toxins, heavy metals, pesticides, this can easily affect this transport loop from happening here. So I just wanted to draw that out for you guys. Hopefully that makes a little bit of sense. When I look at these things, I try to break it down, right? So there's a dance happening. Outside of the cell or inside of the cell, sodium, outside of the cell, potassium. 3 sodiums leaving, 2 potassiums entering. So we're at a -1 because 3 left and only 2 came back. So that keeps the inside of our cell nice and negative, and that allows our cell to be hyperpolarized, nice negative charge. And then for that cells to contract, we get this nice flow of calcium in, and that brings that charge that's really negative and brings it right back up to almost neutral, to almost in the positive range. That's how our muscles contract. Now, really important, let's bring it down to the real world. People are not getting enough potassium or minerals. I mean, great way to get minerals. You can drink a good mineral water like a Topo Chico or a Pellegrino, or there's a bunch of ones out there that are really good. I like the bubbles in them. It's excellent. You can also take a pinch of Redmond's real salt or Celtic or Himalayan, like a quarter teaspoon, half teaspoon, put it in your water in the morning, down that. That can be extra helpful to get good sodium, good minerals in. If you're drinking a lot of like reverse osmosis or distilled water, it's so clean that a lot of the minerals could be removed and you may not get enough back. So you really want to make sure that you're getting extra minerals in there. And you may want to do that half a teaspoon kind of thing. Like I told you, drink a good mineral water throughout the day. That'll help on the sodium side for sure. Now, you may need an extra supplement on the potassium side to help. In my line, we have one called Potassium Synergy that is about 12 to 1300 milligrams of potassium bisglycinate, which is helpful. It's hard to get enough potassium. The daily recommended intake for potassium is around 45 to 4,700 milligrams, so 4.5 grams a day. It's a lot. If you go to chronometer.com, put all your foods in the day, most people only get maybe 2 to 3,000 milligrams. So most people are very deficient in potassium. So you can get potassium in green vegetables. You can get them in safe starches like squash, sweet potatoes. You can get them in things like salmon. On the meat side, you can also get them in avocados. Avocados actually have twice the amount of potassium than things like bananas. Most people, when they think potassium, they think bananas, but avocados are actually have 2x. And you can also get them in celery juice. Celery juice is an excellent way to support extra potassium because you can get about a gram or so just in 12 ounces of celery juice. That's another great way to get the potassium maxed out. And then most people, if there's a gap in between there, then we'll just throw in the potassium synergy product that I have 1 scoop of that, and that can be helpful. I try to maximize as much with the diet as possible, but some people, when they're chronically stressed, you can even go in Guyton's Physiology, which is a medical school textbook. They talk about high levels of cortisol and stress, right, from the adrenals that can cause your body to dump potassium. So that's part of the reason why when you get stressed, or if you go all night not sleeping, you start to notice your eyelid twitching, right? Or you start to noticing you just don't feel as good. Part of it is that stress physiology with the cortisol can cause your body to dump a lot of potassium, and that can cause your potassium needs, right, at that 45 or 4,700 milligram amount to actually go up and be even higher. So potassium is really important. Most don't get enough of it. If you consume excess carbohydrate, excess refined sugar, and processed grains, that can also cause you to dump more minerals as well. And the problem, a lot of blood pressure medications, they can also cause a lot of these minerals to be depleted, and that may affect the heart rhythm and heart rate over time. So you really want to make sure you have adequate potassium. Especially low potassium can cause bradycardia, lower heart rate. And so we want to make sure, then that tends to inevitably go to a pacemaker if it's not addressed. So you want to make sure your body has the minerals and the nutrients it needs. Of course, from an ATP perspective, CoQ10, really important. Lifting weights to generate mitochondria in the muscles, really important. Carnitine, creatine, really good nutrients. B vitamins to supercharge your mitochondria so you can generate good levels of ATP from the Krebs cycle and also from the electron transport chain. You develop about 3 to 6 ATP from the Krebs cycle and about 33 or so from the electron transport chain. So you crank it around 36 to 40 ATP each time. So we want to make sure we have the amino acids, the minerals, the B vitamins, and the nutrients to run that cycle so we can generate good ATP. That helps get potassium in the door, sodium out the door, right? We're having a party. Sodium's got to go, potassium's got to come in. So we got to have this little exchange happen. So think of that as kind of what's happening when you have sodium potassium pumps. And I educate people on, medical or health topics. I rather make sure people understand a concept than memorize some random facts. Random facts, it's good if you got a test the next day and you're going to spit it out and pass the test, but it's not good if you want to understand it and own the concept. So understand the concept, don't memorize, understand the concept. Hope that makes sense for you. And for real world application, make sure you're getting enough potassium, make sure you're adding minerals to your water, make sure your water's clean. You can always pinch some sea salt in, get a good quality mineral water, get a good potassium supplement if you're not confident that you can do it naturally enough with food, and test yourself. Go to chronometer.com and run your food for a day, and you'll see kind of where you're at with your potassium. So hope that helps. Again, it's Dr. J here. If you want to reach out and get more support from myself and or my staff, feel free. There'll be a link down below where you can click and schedule with us worldwide. We're here for you guys virtually. And any other questions, put your comments down below. I hope you enjoyed today's topic. And if you did, thumbs up and share. Thanks, y'all. Take care.